because of some of the macroeconomic challenges and the volatility in terms of the currency and therefore prices, we had to find a way of making sure that the impact on our project will be kept at a minimum. So again, here at Bulawayo Student Accommodation, what we did, we bought most of the materials, whether it was bricks, whether it was cement, whether it was the steel products, upfront. So in other words, we were able to buy them at a certain price, and it was locked at that. And then the contractors come in mostly with labor. So that way it helped us to ride the challenges of the volatility in the prices of the various materials needed for the construction. And this has been a very useful experience. And by and large, this is something we are already applying across in some of the projects. For example, in Harare, we have what we call Waneka, which is a block of flats, and that's again what we tried to do. So lessons learned from the difficult experiences, but we shouldn't allow them to stop us from making a contribution to the development efforts.
Yes, and then you also highlighted that you're instrumental in the revaluation of the national developmental project, especially the dam project.
We are invited by other ministries, let me put it that way, whether it is Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Water on dam projects, and all, because we are in the infrastructure sector. We are involved with various players, and as I said, we are getting useful lessons. So they also ask us to be part of their teams, not us alone, but to be part of their teams that then review their own contracts and also their own projects. You pointed out, this is the first product under our university students and staff accommodation program. And the intention here is to help address the challenges students in tertiary institutions throughout the country face. So we have this already done in Bulawayo. Next stop is Lupane and Kwekwe and the Catholic University in Harare. And we are already making efforts to identify partners in Masvingo, in Chinoi, in Bindura, in Mutare. So as you can see, this is a countrywide program. Of course, we will never be in a position alone as one institution with whoever partners we identify to fully meet the needs of these students. But these are facilities that accommodate students not from a specific institution, but from within that locality, students attending any tertiary institution. So here you have students from NAS, you have students from Hillside, you have students from the School of Mines, and hopefully with the time you also have students from the Catholic University, etc. So that is actually the model we are using. And we have drawn lessons in terms of both the response of the market and also the structures themselves as they are being put up, and how we can improve further so that they are more responsive to the needs of the population, which is the student population. But as we also discussed as we were moving around, there are periods when the students are on holiday, and these facilities are available and they can be used again to accommodate other interest groups. If people are coming for a meeting, like here in Bulawayo during the trade fair. Okay. And in other countries, experience I have had is tourists, for example, when they visit and it happens, it is off-season in terms of academic year, tourists can be accommodated in these facilities, people holding conferences. So they really become multi-purpose. Okay. We, as I say, we have a program for student accommodation. We also have a program for housing stands, servicing of housing stands. We are also involved in building townhouses, garden apartments in different parts of the country. But we are also in other sectors. We now have a growing tourism facilities unit, which is already at the moment, we have completed phase 1 of a rehabilitation of some lodges we have in Kanyamba by the Zambezi, by the Mozambique-Zambia Zimbabwe border. And we are looking for partners to build a hotel. We have a piece of land in Masvingo at Klipsham, which is just around 15 hectares. And as you know, with Tugumikosi, with the plan Burundi Tende, and other developments in Masvingo province, we believe there is an opportunity to have a good standing hotel in Masvingo. So we have that tourism arm that is growing. We are also into agriculture. We are in Masvingo province again supporting an NGO who is working with communities in the production of sesame and other products like that. And we hope to replicate and what do you call it? Anyway, we hope to replicate this across the country, targeting different crops, either under irrigation or under rain-fed development. So that is in the agricultural sector and mostly irrigated agriculture. We are also already working with some partners to try and set up a cattle feeding scheme in Chivu. We used to have a farm which is now partly submerged under Chivu Dam. And the outstanding pieces of land, we have been working with the Ministry of Agriculture, and they've promised they will allow us to lease that land and be able to come up with productive activities. And at the moment, we already have identified a partner with whom we are going to work with for cattle fattening. And if it is successful, again, we hope to be able to do this across the country. Well, we are also into education and medicine, medical facilities. Here in Bulawayo, I'm sure you're aware, we have what we call SSM Medical Center, which before used to be just a rental facility for accommodation. We felt we weren't getting adequate value, and probably it wasn't contributing much to the community. Now it is a medical facility. We are actually going to visit it. So we have doctors' rooms, we have laboratory, we have x-ray rooms, and also people who are selling medical equipment and supplies from this facility. So all these are experiences, are projects we are engaged in, and where we are drawing lessons, and we hope to replicate this across the country.
I think as the board of the IDBZ, we're really impressed by a number of things surrounding this project. The first thing that you've mentioned is that it was constructed relying principally on local currency, and which means that it saved us a significant amount of forex. So what they were doing, which is clever, was that with every contractor they were pre-purchasing the material, and they told us that at one time they had I don't know how many millions of bricks they had here waiting for construction. In other words, even when the rates moved against them, because they pre-purchased, they were well covered. So that's number one. That is really impressive in my view. And secondly is that this project, because we plan to have these projects across the country, in fact we've already started in other parts, it has been a good learning experience for us. The data that we've accumulated here will be useful in the other places that we built. Three, it's how this complex takes care of the girl child, the safety of the girl child. 2 blocks here will be reserved for female students and 1 block for male students, so in the ratio of 60 to 40. But to make sure that you guarantee the safety of the students, the entrance to the facilities, that is the students' facilities, is all through biometrics, which means that we know that anyone who gets here, we know who has gotten inside here, we know that they are a student, we know who they are. That helps, so that when parents are sending their children either from Lupane, from Cholocho, from Harare, from wherever, they send them to NAST, they know that we've taken every measure to make sure their children are safe. That's the third thing. The fourth thing that I think I want to commend IDBZ and its partners for is that the facilities are very clean, and for me that's very important. That students learn in a clean environment, they have access to Wi-Fi, they have enough space to learn. So for me, I think this is a success story, and we look forward to others being built across the country. Actually, because there are a couple of, I think if I'm not wrong, there are probably 3 months of the year that the facilities may not be occupied. So we're exploring models from other universities, in other countries, from other universities, where they use those facilities during the time when they are free for visitors, who maybe someone who's visiting Bulawayo, and they can occupy this place for a week, 2 weeks, I don't know. But also at the same time, it's also very close to NAST. Those who are coming to visit NAST can come and stay for a few days. Those who are visiting Bulawayo can come and stay for a few days. But also, we know that there are a number of conferences that are organized, especially by government or other private people. You can also find accommodation, because here you have accommodation, you have cooking places, you have transport very not far from Bulawayo, where you may want to have your meetings. So it's a very ideal location. So we don't want our charge to our management at IDBZ and the partners that are working with us, all mutual. I think it's also a couple of partners that we work with here. Our charge to them is that, look, let's make sure that this place is used to the maximum throughout the year. Sometimes even if trade fair falls during the time when the university is closed, or universities are closed, let me say, because it's not only for NAST, it's also for other universities across, other higher learning institutions in Bulawayo. When they are in recess, then it must be used for other activities.